Turning now to shifting political affiliations among young voters. According to a Morning Consult study in 2017, 47% of voters ages 18 to 34 identified as liberal. But this year, just 34% of people in that age group identify as liberal. A growing number, 27%, are now moderates, 26% saying they're conservative. We're going to talk a little bit more about this with Johanna Maska, a former member of the Obama administration and the CEO of public affairs agency, the Global Situation Room. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's wonderful to join you. Good morning, Adrienne. How are you?
It's a bright and beautiful day. We've got the Monday energy.
I know.
But, you know, you've seen this data. The youth vote for so many years has been aligned with the Democratic Party and its platform and values. But there's a shift. There's been a shift for years. I think people haven't really paid as much attention to it until now, of a growing diversity of voices within the youth vote. So do you think that Democrats are maybe overcalculating how many youth voters are Democratic leaning?
Yeah, I remember some of my former colleagues saying when everyone votes, we'll always have a Democratic majority. And I disagree with that notion. I think, look, I don't agree with my husband on everything. I don't think any of us agree with a party on everything. And I think you're seeing a lot of people identify more as independents. I think the challenge for Republicans is people don't want a party of one person either. They want a party that stands for the values that they affiliate with. And so I do think that this election, it's going to be a struggle to get young people out. We already saw that in the primary elections. In fact, in Colorado, I was looking at it, in the primary elections, over 40% of the voters were 65 and older. And that demographic is actually only 15% of the population. Wow. So one thing I will tell young people is if we don't show up and we don't vote, someone is, and we won't have a say in our destiny and our next 50 years that we want to see America's greatness.
Yeah, and it's not just that young people might be becoming more moderate and that there is a large conservative portion of the population, but it's that young voters are likely to not remain as liberal over time as they grow up, as they think about their finances. Do you think the Democratic Party is prepared for that shift and taking what is with the young voters to the next generation?
Well, it's funny you say that because I remember when I came out as a Democrat to my Republican family, my grandmother was like, "Don't worry, you'll be conservative again. Your uncle was also played with liberalism for a while, right?" And I'm not sure that that's the case. In fact, my uncle, who was liberal, had voted for Republicans, is now more liberal because he was very turned off by Donald Trump. So I think that we cannot project exactly what's happening. But people our age, look, our concerns are schools. We had schools closed. We don't have pensions. We have, a lot of people are working multiple jobs to try to figure out a way that they can care for their children and for their parents. And so this generation feels very squeezed. And I think that the Democratic Party needs to do a better job at addressing some of the vulnerabilities that generation feels.
Well, you talked about turnoff from President Trump or former President Trump, but a lot of people turned off in the Democratic and Republican Party by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, for example, but a lot of the ultra-progressive liberals. So what do you think that, what does the Democratic Party need to do to sustain some of those liberal tendencies and values when the extreme on either side has become such a turnoff?
And this is the problem, right? The dogmatic has drawn so many people in, and social media makes it seem like everyone is of these extremes, where actually I believe that the vast majority of people still just want their government to work, they want an opportunity, and they want their kids.
They want to feel safe.
Yeah, they want to feel safe, absolutely. They want to have these basic necessities taken care of. And so, absolutely, they are turned off from far extremes on one side and the other. And you see it. I think we're going to see it tomorrow, actually, in the West, because sometimes when the pendulum goes too far to the left or too far to the right, people say, whoa, 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 I didn't want that. And they're trying to rein it in. Yeah. And so I'm already, some of the races that I'm paying close attention to are the races where you've got a very far left candidate versus more of a moderate Republican. And I think you're going to see some of those moderate Republicans win.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.